Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The state legislature passed its biennial capital budget on Friday, just 2 days before adjournment. We'll tell you what's in it locally. A large crowd enjoyed sunny weather at Pybus Public Market on Saturday, taking in the 53rd annual Earth Day celebration. And finally, some warmer weather headed our way with temperatures in the 70s by midweek and the 80s this weekend. A 16-year-old girl was arrested for driving under the influence after a single car crash in East Wenatchee. The accident occurred early Sunday morning on 8th Street, 8th Court Northeast and Massawa Way. Police say the vehicle was traveling over 100 miles per hour before it left the roadway and rolled multiple times. There were 2 occupants inside the vehicle, including a 19-year-old female passenger. Both were uninjured in that accident. It's that time of year again when shipping delicious local fruit can sometimes lead to a highway hazard. The Washington State Patrol says a truck carrying apples on Friday tipped part of its load onto Highway 2 near the old station interchange outside Wenatchee just after 2 p.m. Troopers stood by while plows were used to shovel the fruit off the westbound lanes and onto the shoulder. Apple spills aren't uncommon around the valley as warehouses move their stored produce to market. Police say drivers should be wary of following too closely behind any vehicle, especially large transport trucks. The Washington Legislature adjourned Sunday after taking big steps on housing, gun violence, and education funding. The 2 chambers approved more than $400 million in affordable housing investment for the state, said yes to another $400 million increase for special education, and banned the sale and import of assault-style weapons statewide. But the legislature failed to come up with a fix for the state's drug possession laws in the wake of the Supreme Court's Blake decision. After that bill failed 43 to 55, Governor Jay Inslee said lawmakers must come up with a solution before the state's interim drug laws expire July 1st.
It is unacceptable to me, it is unacceptable to the state of Washington to decriminalize drugs. And in the absence of passage of a bill, that's what would happen in the state of Washington. We expect the Washington State Legislature to produce a bill that will not decriminalize drugs, will provide measures for treatment, and will provide some sanction for those who fail to accept treatment. This is my expectation. It is the expectation of the people of the state of Washington. Tonight, we had 43 representatives willing to step up to the plate. They were all Democrats. Not one single Republican helped on this so that we wouldn't decriminalize drugs. Not one. I'm disappointed by that. We need more votes. And we need to hammer out a bill that can pass.
The state legislature passed its biennial capital budget on Friday, just 2 days before adjournment. That major infrastructure spending package includes roughly $170 million in projects for the 12th legislative district. State Representatives Mike Steele and Keith Gaynor say the single biggest budget item is $46.5 million for Wenatchee Valley College to construct its new Center for Technology, Education, and Innovation. There's also $19.6 million earmarked for the Center for Drug and Alcohol Treatment in Wenatchee and $2 million for the Lake Chelan Food Bank. With the 12th district redrawn last year, about $27.4 million will go to projects west of the Cascades. You can find a complete list of funded local projects on our website at ncwlife.com. When we come back, volunteers with the Wenatchee Sportsmen's Association helped clean up an abandoned camp over the weekend. A large crowd enjoyed sunny weather at Pybus Public Market on Saturday, taking in the 53rd annual Earth Day celebration. And a group of bighorn sheep made their appearance at Omi Gardens late last week. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Volunteers with the Wenatchee Sportsmen's Association helped clean up an abandoned camp over the weekend. The group posted a plea on Facebook asking for help to join them on Sunday to help clean. The camp near Lily Lake appeared to have been left by a person living at the lake this winter and spring. A group of 8 volunteers cleared the area and filled a pickup truck and dumper trailer with tents, mattresses, clothes, garbage, and furniture. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife is currently working on removing an abandoned red Mini Cooper left at that site. A large crowd enjoyed a sunny day at Pybus Public Market on Saturday, taking in the 53rd annual Earth Day celebration. Sponsored by Sustainable North Central Washington, the Pybus festivities included various booths outside and a host of new electric vehicles. Inside the local Events Center, informational tables and displays provided reminders to review recycling habits and various misconceptions involving recycling, as well as earth-friendly textiles for clothing. A similar Earth Day celebration hosted by Waste Management was held yesterday at Enchantment Park in Leavenworth. A group of bighorn sheep made their appearance at Omi Gardens last Thursday. The sheep were caught on video surprising the lead gardener while she was out tending to the gardens. Bighorn sheep will wander into the gardens to come and graze. Omi Gardens says they are passionate about creating a space that honors and celebrates the beauty of the natural world. Omi Gardens opened up the season on April 15th. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, an excited and cheery crowd showed up to a special ribbon cutting at the newly constructed Kinsey's Landing trailhead on Friday. And in weather, temperatures will climb into the 70s by midweek and into the 80s this weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us. An excited and cheery crowd showed up to a special ribbon cutting at the newly constructed Kinsey's Landing trailhead on Friday. The trailhead is named for Mackenzie Clennon, a Wenatchee native who was killed by a drunken driver in 1997. The city of Wenatchee used $1 million in grant money to acquire the land that also includes paved parking, restrooms, a picnic shelter, and more. The 51 acres of land gives access to over 18 miles of existing trails in that area of the Wenatchee foothills. Bart Clennon, Kinsey's father, retired Chelan Douglas Land Trust Executive Director Kurt Soper, and Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz spoke at the event, each touching on the importance of the Wenatchee foothills to the valley.
I want to thank you for being here today to share this very exciting and meaningful opening of another great asset for our community. Kinsey is watching from above with a very big smile, but also a humble feeling. And her smiles will continue as she watches the use of this place where many hikes and good times occur. It's something that, there's story after story I could go through, but the naming process, we didn't step up and say this is what the name needs to be. The land trust talked with us and said, Bart, quit talking about it, that's what it's going to be. It just touched our heart.
You know, we are so blessed in Wenatchee. We've got, this is one in what I call a series or a string of pearls. And these pearls are our series of trailheads and access points to this wonderfully conserved foothills ecosystem that we have. Not every city and not every community chooses to invest in this kind of thing. And the fact that we have makes this a great place to live. So I really applaud the city and all the partners that Ryan mentioned for making places like this happen. The latest in our string of pearls right here.
I've done a whole bunch of ribbon cuttings over 12 years in a lot of different places around our town, and this is, I think, the largest crowd for any of the ones I've done in 12 years. So, congratulations to you guys, and a lot of that has to do with the Clennon family and their contributions to our region. I'm finishing 12 years at this job, and when I started, my first dedication was the trailhead up at Horse Lake. And since then, we have dedicated 4 or 5 other trailheads, as Kurt Soper mentioned. We spent $3.5 million in Met Hell Park. We're spending $3.5 million in Lincoln Park. So your local government, the city, is contributing as much as we can into the things that we all treasure as citizens here, places for people to recreate and enjoy themselves in a valley that's sort of tight if you're in Wenatchee. I mean, there's not a ton of room to go, but the Land Trust and so many others have worked so hard to protect all of these foothills. And just remember that every single time you're out here, how important these are to our region.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. A little bit of a mixed bag this weekend. Saturday not bad with a little bit of sun at times, but how beautiful is this shot from this afternoon? This is our Billy Goat Sky-Fi Tower camera provided by Localtel, and it shoots up at the Okanagan area. Here is Pateros in our screen and Brewster just a little bit farther up the Columbia River, and of course the Methow River meets the Columbia there. But boy, things are greening up nicely up north with a mix of clouds and sun today. We did get fairly mild today, but let's take a look first at what we can expect as we make our way through the week. We are going all the way up to almost 70 degrees tomorrow. We're talking 76 on Wednesday, 77 on Thursday, 78 Friday, and look at the weekend, 83 Saturday and 81 degrees as we get into Sunday, the first full weekend of Apple Blossom Festival. And man, it just couldn't be better. 63 today, pretty nice one out there. 2 degrees below where we should be for this time of year at 65. A hot one back in 1977, our record 93 degrees on this date. 45 this morning, and that's 3 degrees above where we should be for overnight lows. 42 is our normal low. 28 our record, and that was set in 1985. We did pick up 2/100ths of an inch of precipitation. That's over the past 24 hours, gets us to 2.65 for the year, and that is just over 3/10 below where we should be for this time of year. Sunrise is now before 6 a.m. at 5:56, sunset after 8 p.m. at 8:03. Taking a look at what we can expect now as we get you into Tuesday, and that's where our warming, well, let's start with tonight first and tomorrow. 67 for our high temperatures. It is going to be beautiful all over the area tomorrow. Columbia Basin, the warmer spots. Wenatchee, we will also hit 67, as well as Chelan, Omak at 65, and even Lake Wenatchee tomorrow, you will hit 60 degrees for the first time in a long, long time up that way. This is what we're seeing, an area of high pressure, clockwise rotation around a high, so it's grabbing all of that warm air and bringing it right back into Washington State. Breezy conditions will continue tonight. Had plenty of that today. Low temperatures around 40, and then our warming trend will begin as we get you into Tuesday. High pressure will stay planted off the west coast. We'll see highs tomorrow generally in the mid to upper 60s, and it's going to be beautiful all up and down the west coast for Tuesday. And folks, it just gets better. Mostly sunny on Wednesday, maybe a little bit breezy. High pressure here, low pressure here, and we're kind of caught in the middle there. But look at that, high temperatures Wednesday in the mid 70s. For Thursday, mostly sunny skies. Winds will die down somewhat. High pressure still in place for Thursday. We will climb into the mid and even upper 70s for Thursday, and for Friday to end our work week, one area of high pressure will move into the interior of the country, but another one pushing its way up. This low won't really do much for us on Friday, but we're going to warm up. High temperatures in the upper 70s. And then for Saturday, here comes that next area of high pressure. It's going to pretty much deflect that low up into British Columbia, and that will provide unseasonably warm weather for us on Saturday with high temperatures in the low 80s. This is the color we like, orange and reds, and we're going to see that as we get into Sunday too. Maybe a little bit breezy. Once again, we're right in the middle between a low and a high. That could kick up the wind Sunday, but no problem with temperatures, with high temperatures at the end of our forecast into the low 80s. Let's take a look now at that 7-day forecast. 39 overnight tonight, and then a beautiful weather trend through the rest of the week. 67 Tuesday. We'll warm into the mid 70s on Wednesday, mid to upper 70s for both Thursday and Friday. And look at that weekend weather. Sunny on Saturday and Sunday, 83 Saturday and 81 your high on Sunday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
The Seattle Kraken will try again at winning on home ice in their first ever Stanley Cup playoff series tonight after falling to Colorado Saturday 6-4. Fans at Climate Pledge Arena were in full throat when the puck dropped in the inaugural home playoff game and threatened to blow the roof off the place when Jaden Schwartz scored the first of his 2 goals less than 5 minutes into the contest. But Colorado stayed the course and came storming right back.
Wenberg walks out in front, saved by Georgiev in tight, rebound available. Rodriguez stripped of the puck. Schultz scores! It out for Colorado. McCarr with Sprong blowing a tire. Here's Compter all alone. He scores! And here's McKinnon stepping up through center. Into the zone. McKinnon scores! And Colorado has picked up right where they left off in the first, peppering the Seattle Nets. One-timer, McCarr scores! A bullet from Cale McCarr! Gord sets up Alexiak up top. Alexiak darts to the middle on the backhand. Scores! McCann stops up behind the net. Centers, Peniers, scores! Taves carries it out on a 3-on-2 for Colorado. Taves, centers, shot, Rantanen, underneath Grubauer and in! There's Rodriguez behind the goal. Byram rotates from McKinnon, stutter step, sidesteps Donato. McKinnon scores! Nathan McKinnon with a snipe! Lehkonen in pursuit. Lehkonen feeds it to Rantanen, who buries it. 43 seconds to go. Power play for Seattle, 0 for 5. This shot is tipped in. And the defending Stanley Cup champions now lead this series 2-1.
Coach Dave Haxtell said the fans certainly created a playoff atmosphere on Saturday night.
We were loose, we were prepared, we were ready for this one, no question. I loved our start tonight. Love the atmosphere, love the build, you know, the fans, the feel of the building. That's a playoff feel. That's what it is. So that, you know, that part of it was awesome. You know, we didn't complete that first period, right? You got to take it, you know, different stages of the game, different steps of the game, and you know, our start was tremendous. You know, it has a real different look if we complete the first period in a different way.
Colorado leads the best-of-7 series 2-1 with Game 4 tonight at 7 o'clock on TBS and Root Sports Northwest. Well, the Mariners took 2 of 3 from St. Louis over the weekend, but fell in the finale on Sunday 7-3. Chris Flexen was lit up for 6 runs on 9 hits, including a couple of home runs in his 4 innings worth of work. The only highlights for Seattle came early on off the bats of Jared Kelenic and Ty France.
So Jared Kelenic, the batter, he's had a super series.
Kelenic, a drive the opposite way. Can he do it again? O'Neill, he does it again! Jared Kelenic splits the arrow over the wall in left field.
His last time up.
Ground ball through the left side. Wong's waving him home. He scores standing. Here comes Crawford. He scores on his feet and well. The ball kicks away.
Seattle starts a 9-game road trip tomorrow with the first of 3 in Philadelphia. That'll be 3:40 in the afternoon on Root Sports Northwest. NCWLIFE Channel was out at Dan White Field Friday for a doubleheader between Eastmont and Wenatchee. Eastmont won the front end of the twin bill 5-0 as the offense scraped together enough support to pitcher Colin Babst, who went 7 complete innings, allowing just 3 hits in the win. I was joined by Brandon Schmitten on the call here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Yeah, Evan Smith has had a pretty busy game here. This pitch swung on, hit well, deep center field, and it is all the way to the fence. So that error is going to prove awfully costly here, as motoring home to score is Michael Singleton on the double by Skylar Bryant. It's 1-0 Eastmont.
So
squaring to bunt, pushing it up the third baseline, and a fair ball. Third baseman will field and throw wide, and everybody's safe. In fact, will they score a run here? Rounding third and heading for home is Luke Gale, the right fielder, finally coming up with a baseball. Defense drawn in to try to keep the run from scoring. Pitch to the plate, swung on, popped up, And shortstop back it up
Tough
is
play.
Branham, and that ball will go out of his glove, and scampering home from third will be Kyle Smith. And Eastmont now up 3-0. Runner at first with the lead, runner at second with the lead. The ball is grounded to the third baseman. He'll go the short route to second, and that'll be it, as the fielder's choice will end the ball game here.
Eastmont also claimed a high-scoring second game of the doubleheader, 16-6 in 6 innings. After grabbing an early 5-0 lead, Eastmont saw Wenatchee take the lead briefly in the 5th, but the Wildcats quickly answered in the bottom of the 5th with 8 runs. Again, I had the call with Brandon Schmitten here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Got it. This pitch swung on
Hit well.
and hit well to center field. That's going to maybe clear the bases
4-3.
all the way to center field. Barrios finally picks it up out by the fence, and 3 runs are going to score. And Wenatchee has the lead on the bases clearing double by Evan Smith. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, a hit hard, and that is going to be a fair ball. And that's going to tie the
could be a
game at
triple.
least. And 1 run has scored. They're going to score the second on a 2-out, 2-run double by Valente Barrios. 21-run game right now between the two teams. This pitch swung on, and that's going to end the ball game as the Eastmont Wildcats 10-run the Wenatchee Panthers.
While Eastmont was sweeping Wenatchee, Moses Lake fought off Davis to remain atop the Big Nine standings, winning 4-2 and 4-2. Here's what the Saturday baseball scoreboard looks like. Brewster blanked Ephrata in both games of that doubleheader, 6-0 and 11-0. Kashmir also kept Quincy quiet, winning 13-0 and 2-zip. Chelan swept Omak 7-5 and 1-0. Lake Roosevelt split with Tonasket, winning the opener 5-1 but losing the nightcap 7-4. Okanagan and Libertyville also split, with the Bulldogs winning game 1 5-4 and the Mountain Lions taking the nightcap 9-2. Riverside Christian beat Waterville Mansfield 19-7 and 23-12. Fast pitch softball on Friday. Eastmont swept Wenatchee 15-1 and 12-1. Moses Lake dumped Davis 16-0 and 18-0. Kashmir took 2 games from Quincy's fast pitch team Saturday, 12-2 and 9-8. Omak took 2 from Chelan, 18-4 and 21-7. Okanagan held Libertyville in check, 16-1 and 11-1. Lake Roosevelt down Tonasket 15-3 and 10-3. In boys prep soccer Friday, Wenatchee blanked West Valley 6-0. Moses Lake down Sunnyside 4-1. Eastmont topped Eisenhower 3-1. On the Les Schwab Prep Boys soccer scoreboard on Saturday, Ephrata beat Grandview 4-2. Omak blanked Pateras 2-0. Kashmir topped Tonasket 4-3. Quincy edged Overlake 3-2. Chelan down Manson 4-1. Okanagan edged Libertyville 2-1. Brewster blanked Bridgeport 1-0. That's a look at sports. I'm Eric Granstrom. Happy Monday.
I'm Dan Coons, host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Join me tomorrow morning live at 7 a.m. That's right, live. We work without a net here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'll have your latest news, your latest sports, including highlights of tonight's Kraken Avalanche Game 4 at Climate Pledge Arena. And boy, thanks, Grant. Grant has not been the most popular guy around the television station, but I'll have your latest weather forecast, and then we can kiss Grant right on the cheek because he's responsible for the weather. Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley tomorrow morning, live and local at 7 a.m.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.